Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Big Data Knowledge Hunt Official. So in today's video we are going to see what is meant by machine learning or introduction to machine learning. So already we are aware of machine learning. I have posted a basic video of machine learning previously. But again I am revising through the concept. So let us start with the video. So now we know AI is a very wide branch which holds the blockchain and quantum computing or different fields which are related to machine learning, and machine learning is a part of AI. So, so easily a huge computing resources are available. So the developers are taking advantage of creating new machine learning models and to train the existing models for the better performance. So now, because of the availability of HPC, that is the high performance computing, there is a very sudden increase in the demands of the IT professional who have the machine learning skills. So in the today's topic, we will discuss what is machine learning, what are the different types of machine learning, and what are the different algorithms that also we can study in the further video. In the today's videos, we will see what is meant by machine learning in detail. Now, you know what is cat. Basically, these are the different images of different types of cat. So what human thinks is, once we say the word cat, we get into our mind different pictures of cat. As you can see here, this is a black color cat. This is one of the cat who is having a skin color. This is brown color. So we get into our image or into mind different images of the cat. But what machine thinks is, machine will identify the occurrence or the image of the cat by using different features or functions such as diversity, deformation, or different types of the body structure, different types of colors based on their shadow or lighting variations, how their structure is, how their eyes is, how their colors is. So the machine is not a human being, so it will relate the cat by using the different features or the fields. So this is the difference between the human and the machine. So to do this classification, we are using the technique which is known as the machine learning. So the subfield of the computer science that gives the computer to ability to learn without being explicitly programmed is known as the machine learning. It's the standard definition. So the machines will learn either from the experience or from the data or from the input. So that is the use of the machine learning. So we are using the data for answering the questions, and to answer the questions we are training the data, and after training the data we are predicting the answers. So this is the whole circle of the machine learning. Now in the big data era, means in current world we are having a large amount of data. So we have data, devices, services. So in data is the everywhere, whatever the things we are generating a large amount of data every day. So it is important to store the data with a lower cost. Okay, now hardware more powerful and cheaper than even before. Why? Because we need to store the data. Now devices, everyone have a computer which is fully packed with the GPS, camera, microphone, etc. So which are permanently connected to internet. So we have data, so we need devices to store that data along with the service. Which services we need? We need storage, we need infrastructure which comes under cloud computing. So how we are generating the data? We are using different services. We are generating the data with the help of YouTube, Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. So these are the things which are into the picture in nowadays. So to manage these things we need the machine learning or we need the storage devices. Now there are different types of machine learning or machine learning problems. It is supervised, unsupervised and semi-supervised. So we'll see one by one. So first comes into picture supervised. So the supervised will learn through the examples, means we know what will be the desired output, like it is a cat or a dog, it is a spam email or not, or it is a spam user or not, or predicting the market value, giving the square meters, predicting the number of rooms, predicting the neighborhood, etc. These are the some of the example of supervised. Now I have already uploaded a video of different supervised machine learning algorithms or different types of machine learning algorithms. Link to that video will be in the description as well as in the I section. You can go through it. So this was an introduction to supervised. So in supervised there are again two types, that is classification and regression. In classification, as you can see in the figure, we are classifying the things into two types, whereas in regression the output is continuous. Okay, so it can be a cat or a dog. Like here we are continuous means predicting the price, predicting the temperature, predicting the pressure. Next one is the unsupervised. So here we don't know the output. We are learning something from the data or finding something from the patterns. Okay. Now example, I have photos and I want to put them into 20 groups. This is the unsupervised. Or I want to find out the anomalies in the credit card patterns. Or I want to find out the top customers. These are some of the examples of unsupervised. So we are just grouping it. You can see this is the data and we are just grouping it into different groups. So this type of algorithms comes under the clustering category. Also there are dimensionality reduction algorithms also. The next thing is the reinforcement learning. So in reinforcement learning, an agent will interact with the environment and watch the result of the interaction. Means based on the feedback, it will be a positive or a negative reward signal. So this is the type of reinforcement learning. So the detailed explanation of all these machine learning types of algorithm are already covered. Link to that videos will be in the description. You can go through it.
Video we will be seeing what is machine learning, what is the basic idea of machine learning, what are the models that are being trained by using machine learning, what are the application of machine learning, and what are the different types of machine learning algorithm. So machine learning, it is a branch or application of artificial intelligence, and it is used to train the model so that the model could perform same as the human being and make a prediction by using the data without any human assistance or without being explicitly programmed. So machine learning is a branch of or application of artificial intelligence. It provides ability to system to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. It is a scientific study of algorithms and statistical models that computer system used in order to perform specific tasks effectively. So machine learning allows the system to make the prediction by analyzing the data or by analyzing the instruction provided in the data or by learning from the past experience. It will make the predictions. So it builds a statistical model based on the sample data, also known as training data, to make decision or prediction. The process of learning begins with the observations or data such as direct experience or instruction or the patterns among the data, and it will make better decisions in the future based on the examples that we provide. The primary aim is to allow the computers learn automatically without human interventions or assistance and adjust action accordingly. As I told you before, how the human being perform the task, how we make the predictions, same as the machine learning algorithm will make the prediction by analyzing the trends among the data, by analyzing the past experience or the instruction provided to the model or the algorithm. So there are two types of data that are being provided as input to a machine learning algorithm. One is the training data and another is the testing data. So the sample data is the training data which the algorithm will study or which the algorithm will observe and make the predictions. So the categorization of machine learning is basically done into three types. Broadly it is categorized into three types, but there are 4 or 5 types of machine learning algorithms: supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, reinforcement, and deep learning. So broad classification is supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement machine learning. So for each of this categorization we will discuss in brief in our further videos. So the basic introduction I will be giving you here. So in supervised it is task driven, unsupervised data driven, and reinforcement learn from the mistakes. So what is this? Task driven means here the prediction is based on the task. It will predict the next value by analyzing the data and finding the or following the instruction provided in the data, or by learning from the past experience. Whereas in unsupervised it is data driven, so it will identify the pattern amongst the data, it will identify the cluster, it will identify how the data is being collected or clustered into among each other, and based on that it will make the prediction. And in reinforcement it will learn from the mistake, the input will be provided, the model will make the prediction. If the prediction is wrong, then it will analyze and again the predictions are being made. So here there is a labeled data, whereas in unsupervised we don't have a labeled data. Okay, so we will be seeing what further what is supervised, which type of algorithms are there in the category of supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So what is model? We are saying that the machine learning will create a model. So what is model? So model involves so model is trained on some training data, and then it can process additional data to make the predictions. So we'll create a model by using a machine learning algorithms. That model will take the data, sample data as an input or training data as an input. It will analyze the data and make the prediction. So this whole process is known as a model, or it can be seen as an algorithm. So these models are being created by using the machine learning techniques. So there are various models that have been used and researched for the machine learning system. So some of the models are listed here, that is artificial neural networks, decision tree, support vector machine, Bayesian network, genetic algorithm, and training model. So in each of these models there are further many algorithms like decision trees and clustering algorithms, classification algorithm, neural network. So we will be seeing each of these algorithms in detail. So all these models, there are some, so these models will train the machine to make the prediction or to generate the output. So what are the application of machine learning? In each field we have application of machine learning. Some of the field I have listed here. Agriculture. In the research field of agriculture, we are using machine learning algorithm to analyze the pesticide ratio, or to analyze the rainwater. All these fields related to agriculture, they are being researched by using the ML algorithm. Next is the banking sector. The most used field we can say to find the credit card fraud detection, or to analyze the customer satisfaction rate. In NLP, that is natural language processing, we know what that is. Social media analytics also we know, Facebook, Twitter, to analyze the fraudulent user, or to find out the sentimental analysis, or to find out the which is the false tweet or which is a true tweet, to find out the most important tweet, to find out the most important news that are being generated by the social media. Next is the recommendation engine or recommendation system. YouTube, Instagram, we get the recommendation based on our search or based on the videos we are watching. So these in this field also the machine learning algorithms are used to provide us the recommendation. Next is the spam detection, to find out the fraudulent user, to find out the fraud, spam email, spam email, to find out the fraudulent user. We are using the machine learning. Next is the video games, to improve the performance or optimization criteria. We are using machine learning algorithms. User behavior analytics, that is in security agencies or in military or different agencies. It is being possible to analyze the user based on the facial expressions, based on the activities he or she is doing. So we are using here also the machine learning is being used to find out the fraudulent user based on the expression, facial expression, or based on the actions he or she is being performing. So some of the applications are listed here, that is virtual personal assistants, image recognition, video recognition, email spam filtering, video recommendation system as in YouTube, traffic prediction, that which will be the most which are the most in the Google Maps, we are aware of this system. Next is the advertise recommendation on YouTube, online fraud detection, credit card fraud detection, stock marketing to predict which stock will have highest market on that particular day. Next is the healthcare analytics. Next is the language translation. Also we are using machine learning. So these are some different fields where we are using the machine learning algorithms. In detail we will discuss what are the different machine learning algorithms, what are the types, how the models are being built in the further videos. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for watching the video. So in the further videos we will be seeing what is the types of machine learning in brief and the different algorithms of machine learning. Machine learning classification with its types. So today we will be seeing what is machine learning categories and what are the different types of algorithm that are under the machine learning category. So in previous video we already saw that there are broadly three categories of the machine learning algorithm, that is supervised, unsupervised and reinforcement learning. Today the another two categories are the semi-supervised learning and deep learning. So we will be seeing in brief what are these categories and what are the algorithms that lie in these types. So what is supervised, what is unsupervised and what is reinforcement learning. So in supervised learning the output labels are known, means the data contains the labels, the data set has the labels inside it. Whether in unsupervised the data set doesn't have the labels, so it is difficult to identify the data. We have to first label the data and then we have to perform the analysis. In supervised learning, machine is trained on the past data and its output to learn the hidden pattern, hence the name is supervised. So in machine learning the predictions are based on the past experience or the result which are previously present in the data. So the data is divided into two types, that is the training data and testing data. So in the training data set we have some of the prediction previously made by the past users. So based on that prediction the machine will learn and make the further decisions. So supervised learning is used for predictive analysis, whereas unsupervised learning the machine are not trained on any data, so it is unsupervised. So it is used mainly for clustering purpose. And reinforcement learning, machine agent explore its environment for decision making. So in this it will learn from the it will used for making decisions in problem to maximize the reward, and learning is based on the reward and punishment policy, so it will learn from the mistakes. So what is supervised learning? So supervised learning is a data mining task of inferring a function from labeled training data. So in dataset we have labels given to the data, like if you want to predict that whether there will be a rain or rain will be there today or not. So we have a data set which contains the temperature, pressure, the how is the weather, whether it is whether it is cloudy or whether it is rainy. So all these things are previously present in the data set and they are being labeled, and based on the past experience the machine will predict whether that today the rain will be there in a particular area or not. So supervised learning is a machine learning task of learning a function that maps an input to the output based on the input output pair, or based on example of an input output pair. Each example is a pair consisting of an input object and a desired output value. So if today it will be the rain will be coming or not will be based on the prediction of temperature, today's weather, today's pressure. So based on all these things it will produce the desired output. Unsupervised learning is a type of machine learning algorithm used to draw inferences from dataset consisting on input data without label response. The most common unsupervised learning method is cluster analysis, which is used for exploratory data analysis to find the hidden pattern or grouping in data. In unsupervised it will learn from the data itself or from the past experience, in supervised it will learn from the data itself or the past experience, wherever in unsupervised we have to find the cluster among the data, or we have to find the hidden patterns among the data. So this task is done by the model, which will be trained by using the machine learning algorithm. So the clustering algorithms mainly are in the category of unsupervised learning, whereas the classification algorithms are in the supervised learning. Semi-supervised learning. In semi-supervised learning, an algorithm learn from the data set that include both labeled as well as unlabeled data. Usually it is a unlabeled data. So in semi-supervised we will have both type of data, that is the labeled data or unlabeled data. It is a class of machine learning tasks and techniques that also make use of unlabeled data for training. Typically a small amount of labeled data with a large amount of unlabeled data. So in semi-supervised learning we have large amount of unlabeled data, so the machine will learn from the past experience as well as the finding the pattern among the data. So it is a combination of supervised and unsupervised learning. So again it is a small introduction through the diagrammatic view, that input, training and output. So in supervised, the training is based on the past experience, okay, whereas in unsupervised, input and output. Input is given to the model, it will itself find out the pattern and find out the clusters, and it will provide the output. Whereas in reinforcement learning, input is provided to the model, output is generated. If it is wrong or if it is mistaken, then again the rewards will be passed and the process will be repeated. So supervised learning makes machine learn explicitly. Data has with clearly defined output is given, that is labeled. Direct feedback is given, predicts the output or future or outcome, and resolve the classification and regression problems. Whereas machine understands the data. In unsupervised learning, it identifies the patterns in the data. Evaluation is qualitative or indirect. Qualitative means by finding the pattern among the data, and it does not predict or find anything specific. It just shows the output based on the analysis of the data. It gives us the perfect outcome or future in the form of 1 or 0, or it will like a labeled output means if the rain will be there or not. Here it will just find out the pattern among the data and find out that these are some of the prediction which can be made by using the by the analysis. In reinforcement learning, it is an approach to AI, that is artificial intelligence. It is a reward based learning. It is learning from positive and positive reinforcement. Machine learn how to act in a certain environment and to maximize the reward. In this, the machine is able to learn how to behave in a certain condition. Next is reinforcement learning. So it allows machine and software agent to automatically determine the ideal behavior within a specific context in order to maximize its performance. Here reward feedback is required for the agent to learn its behavior. This is known as the reinforcement signal. So it is based on the reward, or this model will learn from the mistake. So what are the algorithms that fall under this category, we will see. So in supervised, data has the known label or output, and the example where we use the supervised learning is insurance underwriting or fraud detection. To find out whether that user is a fraudulent user or not, to find out the credit card fraud system, also we can use the supervised learning. This is one of the example of each of these algorithms. Next is the unsupervised. Here we know the labels or output are unknown. It will focus on finding the patterns and gaining the knowledge from the data or insight from the data. So the algorithms that are the customer clustering and the association rule mining, it is the clustering algorithms. So we'll see the clustering algorithms in the further sessions. Next is the semi-supervised learning. So here the labels or output known for the subset of data, and a blend of supervised and unsupervised learning. It is a combination of both. Here some of there are labeled data, some of the data is the unlabeled data. Okay, so the output is also a subset of a data. Next is where it is used in medical prediction, where the test and expert diagnosis are expensive and only the part of the population receives them. Next is the reinforcement. It will focus on decision making based on the previous experience, or just giving a feedback for a particular policy. Okay, so where it is being used in artificial gaming, AI, complex decision problems and reward system, where we have to give choice. We can use the reinforcement learning algorithms. And the final type is deep learning. So it is one of the subfield, we can say, of machine learning, which is concerned with the algorithms inspired by the structure and a function of brain called artificial neural network. So when we are dealing with machine learning, there was a model as artificial neural network. So deep learning is based on artificial neural network, and it will function as a brain of a human being. And deep learning, as its name indicates, it will mainly deeply focus on a specific task or a specific structure to find out the more insights from the data. So this is the broad category of which type of algorithms fall under which category. So in supervised, we will have classification algorithms and regression algorithms. In unsupervised, we will have clustering algorithms and dimensionality reduction algorithms. So these are the broad categories of algorithms. In regression, we have n number type of algorithm. Again, in clustering, we have n number type of algorithm. Similarly, in dimensionality reduction also, we will see further what is dimensionality reduction. In semi-supervised, we have self-training algorithms, low-density separation models, or graph-based algorithms. We have some of the graph-based algorithms. In reinforcement, dynamic programming, Monte Carlo methods. It is one of the machine learning method which is used for prediction. Next is the heuristic methods. In deep learning, we will have artificial neural network, convolution neural network, RNN, recursive neural network. So all these neural networks fall under the category of deep learning. So this is the broad classification of the algorithms that fall into different categories. For each category further we will see which are the algorithms that are the clustering, which are the classification algorithm, and how they are being classified by using the machine learning techniques.
Hello guys, so in the series of the big data lectures, today we will be seeing the data types that we need when we are applying a machine learning algorithm, or what are the data types from a machine learning perspective. Sorry, in between I was unable to post the video due to some personal issues. So let us start with the data types. So when we are applying any machine learning algorithm, or when we are exploring the data, the most important thing is what are the data types, what is the type of data. Okay, so it is important to understand the different types of data types which we are using or which we have in our data set. Okay, so it is also necessary to convert the data type in some another type or some variable in order to make it appropriate, so that the proper algorithm can be applied on it and proper data visualization techniques can be applied. So what are the different different data types that we can see in the machine learning are? There are two types of data is categorized into two types, that is the categorical and numeric. Okay, so further classification of categorical is nominal data and ordinal data, whereas of numerical it is interval based and the ratio. So only these type of data types can be found when we are applying a machine learning algorithm. So it is category, and mostly the data is categorized into four types, that is the numerical data, categorical data, time series data, and the text data. So the numerical time series in the sense interval based data. Okay, so this is a broad classification. So either when we are applying algorithm, it will be a categorical data, text data, or a numerical data, or it will be a time series based data set. Okay, so what is numerical data? So these are the four types, that is numerical, categorical, time series, and the text. So what is numerical data? As the name indicates,
It is based on the numbers, numeric in the sense numbers. So statisticians also called it as a quantitative data, not qualitative. We know qualitative and quantitative are two different things. So numerical data is also called as quantitative data. So this data has a meaning as a measurement, such as house price or a count of something, such as number of houses in this area, or number of the properties in Los Angeles, or how many houses are sold in past years, how many number of product has been purchased in this particular year. So where it comes a number, then that type of data is called a numerical data. So it is two types, that is continuous and discrete. So numerical data is classified into two types further, which is a continuous data and a discrete data. Continuous in the sense height, weight, salary, temperature, pressure, interest, these are the continuous data. So examples are given below. And discrete in the sense like number of the languages, number of the product sold, number of the students, number of the household, unit sold. So as you can see, continuous in the sense it is based on a decimal point, and discrete means whole number. Okay, number of the unit sold may be a discrete data. So the next type is the new categorical data. So I hope everyone is understanding numerical data. What is numerical data? So categorical data, it doesn't take the numeric values. Okay, it doesn't contain the, no, like maybe we would use 1 for color red and 2 for blue, but these number don't have any mathematical meanings because they are only denoting the colors of the particular object. Okay, consider like we have balloons. We have 4 types of balloons: red, yellow, pink and blue. So while representing the data, if you are using numbers 1 for red, 2 for blue, 3 for pink and 4 for yellow, but then also it is not a numerical data because the data is represented in the form of numbers, but it is a categorical data because it is based on the colors and the objects are the balloons. Okay, so we can tell it as a quantitative data and splitting it into groups. Okay, so we are just taking the numerical data, but we are splitting it into different type of group, like 10 red balloons, 20 blue balloons, but it are just denoted by using the numbers. Like consider the population. Okay, like 0 to 10 million, 100 to 10 million or 100 to 500. So these are the numbers only, but they are showing some of the category of the people, like these are the people who belongs to any specific area. So they are showing some specific category, though they are represented by the numbers, but they are not exactly the numbers. Like it is not showing that 10 million. If it is only 10 million, then it is a numerical data, but it is in the range of 0 to 10. Okay, so it is denoting a specific category. Next is the ordinal data. Okay, so what is ordinal data? It is a combination of numerical and categorical data. Ordinal data is a combination of numerical and categorical data. The data still falls into category, but those categories are ordered or ranked in a specific way. Like such as we classify the student, or we'll ask how do you know the language. Like if anyone asks you how are you in Python, we will say I am a beginner, or I am an intermediate, or I am an advanced person. So such type of data is known as the ordinal data. Like it is treated much in the same way as the categorical data, but the groups are usually ordered from lowest to highest. Okay, so it is based on the category, just as good, better, best, beginner, intermediate, advanced. So it is a combination of numerical and categorical data. So ordinal data is treated in the same way as the categorical data, but groups are ordered from the lowest to highest priority. And the final is the time series data. So it is pretty easy to understand time series in the sense of based on the time period. Like here the plot is given from January 2007, how the home sales has been increased. Okay, like 45,000 homes, how many homes has been sale in that specific time period. So it is sequence of a number collected at regular intervals over some period of time. So time series data has a temporal value, and like it may be depend on a time slot, or it may depend on a particular trend at that time. So like if you are considering the example as given above, measuring the average number of homes sale in that specific year. So the difference of the time series data and the numeric data is that rather than having a bunch of numeric value which don't have any time ordering, time series data have some implied ordering. So there is the first data point collected and the last data point collected. So in the numerical we just gave the number like 500 house sold. Okay. But here we are giving from January 2007 to January 2008, the household was 45,000. It was decreasing. So in the time series data, we can show the average. Okay. As well as combination of the 2 years or combination of the 2 different time period. Okay. And the final is the text data. So we know text is basically combination of the words or collection of the words. Lot of time the first thing that you do with the text is it to turn into numbers by using some interesting functions such as bag of words or different word vectorization features are there. So text is the basic data type. So I hope you are aware with what are the data types that we use when we are using any machine learning algorithm, or what are the types of the data by which the data set is being formed. So the basic classification is numerical data, categorical data, time series data and textual data. Okay, so ordinal data is the combination of all of these two, that is the categorical and numerical. And the time series data and the text data, mostly the text data is used in machine learning so that it is easy to process the data. Cleaning process is easy when we are working with the text data set. Okay, so thank you for watching the videos. We will be again proceeding with the further machine learning techniques. Goodbye.
Challenges faced in the ML industry. So nowadays the machine learning is booming in the industry. So there are different challenges that are being faced in the machine learning industry by the developers or the people that are being faced whenever they are developing the codings or whenever they are developing the machine learning code. So we'll see one by one what are the different challenges whenever they are fetching the data or whenever they are executing different applications. So let us see one by one. So the first challenges or the first challenge is the lack of the training data. So as we all know, so to train the data or to train the machine learning algorithms, we need a large amount of data, or to gain the insights from the data, to gain the knowledge, we need a large amount of data. So to train the machine learning algorithm, we need to storage and maintain the large amount of data. So to store the large amount of data is the main issue among the scientists or the developers. So for a simple task also we need a 1,000 amount of data samples, and it is a advanced level of task. Like if we want to do image processing or speech recognition, then we need a millions of examples or millions of data records. So to store or to incorporate or to collect such large amount of data is in itself a large amount of collection of data, itself a big task for the developers and the programmers, and it is a very big challenge for the developers to collect a large amount of data set. So it is one of the most biggest challenge faced by the machine learning peoples or developers to collect a large amount of data. So this is the first challenge this is faced by the developers in the machine learning industry, to collect the training data from the large amount of data set or from the large amount of the data from the different industry. The next is this, the model scalability. So if you are searching or if you are collecting the data from the different places, so it is important that the data should be in a smaller size. Means whatever the data that we are collecting from the different places or different platform, it should be stored into the smaller size so that it should be easily accessible, and it should be stored into the smaller size, and it should be accessed in the faster speed. So the main task is to store the data into the smaller size, and that should be accessed with a faster rate. So that is the scalability of a model. So the model should be scalable and the data should be stored into the smaller size. Means the millions and terabytes of data should be stored into the small database. So this is the main advantage of big data, or this is the main advantage of the machine learning platforms, that it should store the data into a smaller size and the data should be accessed with a high speed of rate. So Nowadays, machine learning or big data is used to access the data with a faster rate, and that it should be stored with a smaller size into the database. So this is the one of the biggest challenge that is faced by the machine learning industry people. And the third and the bigger most challenge is the discrepancies between the data. So the third is the discrepancies between the data. The discrepancies means the accessibility of the data depends on the different things, that is the location, the season or the platforms of the data. Like whenever we are accessing the data accessibility depends on the different things. Like first is the location. Like if the data is being stored at the different location and we are accessing it from the different location, then it may affect the data, or it may affect the speed of the data, or the data properties may be changed. So this may affect the properties of the data, or the uh, data may be changed due to the location dependencies. So it may change the data properties, which may affect the properties of the data, that may cause the change in the nature of the data, which may affect the algorithm, or which may affect the result or outcome of the algorithm. So also the season, like due to the weather affect, sometimes the weather also affect the data, like due to the nature also there is a dependence in the data, like due to the nature there is a dependency in the cloud related properties. Like if the data is stored into the cloud, there is a loss in the data. Like there is a dependence in the platform, like if the data is stored into the laptop and it is accessed via the mobile platform, then there is a dependency that the data is not accessed from the mobile. Like if you are accessing some of the websites from the mobile, they are not accessible since the data is cannot downloaded from the mobile platform. So there are some websites that are not accessible via the mobile. They are only accessible via the laptop, accessible via the laptops or the computers. So there is a dependency between the laptops that are dependent on the platform, season or locations. So these are the dependencies which are dependent on some of the platforms or seasons or locations, which may cause the discrepancies between the data. So these are the some of the platform dependent based accessibility that cause variation among the data accessibilities. So these are some of the challenges that are faced by the machine learning industry people, which cause a difficulty in accessing the data, or which cause difficulty in accessing the machine learning algorithms, which may cause a challenges for the machine learning industry people. I hope everyone is clear with the idea and what are the different challenges faced by the machine learning people or the industry people. That is how machine learning helps in business. Why the companies, why the organization are using machine learning widely. So this is a survey which was done by a journal, which denotes that researchers estimated that the machine learning has a potential to add 2.6 trillion in value to the marketing and the sales industry by 2020. Now it's 2022. This was the survey done in 2020. That time this much value is added in the marketing and sales industry for machine learning, and $2 trillion to the manufacturing and logistic field to do the growth or to do the investment in the machine learning. So this is a wide variety of investment done in the machine learning industry. You can see the machine learning usage is increasing day by day, such as 75% financial services are investing money in the machine learning to gain knowledge or to gain insights, such as banking industry is investing, or financial sector, different financial industries are investing to find out the fraud, or to find out the fake schemes, etc. 78% say that a ML is a core component of biz strategy, means for business growth. 78% industries are investing in machine learning, whereas 90% deployed ML by one or more department to manage or analyze the content, means to store the content, to manage the content. These are people are investing into machine learning. So this is a short survey. So 7 ways where machine learning is helping a business to grow. First is automating the routine task. Whatever the task is done by the human being, we can automate it with the help of the machine learning or AI. Managing the unstructured data or consumer data. Whatever the data has been generated, storing it, storing the important data, removing the unwanted data, that can be done with the use of the machine learning. Natural language. Natural language processing means dealing with the human related conversation, converting the text to the voice, voice to the text, or converting the human messages to the text, or decrypting the messages, encrypting the messages. All these things come under the natural language, which is done with the help of the ML. Driving the strategy business advantage means to grow the business, deriving or driving different strategies, improving the personalization and audience interaction, such as the companies such as audience, Amazon, Flipkart, YouTube. They are engaging their customers, they are interacting their audience with the help of the ML related algorithms. Speeding up the research on what customer want means analyzing what is the need of the customer and accordingly providing the strategies. And next, last one is the detecting trends. So all of these things are done by different organization or different businesses to grow their business with the help of the machine learning. So we will see simple one or two examples how they are done. Like you can see Amazon, we are using Amazon day by day, or we are using Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. We are using these different shopping apps or social media apps. So what are they doing? They are building a strategy with the help of different algorithms. So Amazon created an anticipatory shipping protocol which will allow it to predict the amount and the geographic dispersion of orders for a specific item. Means it will check for a specific items how many is the amount and how many orders are given provided on that specific product. Based on that, what it will do, it will send the popular items like phone accessories or household items to the local distributor centers for the future purchase. Means if a product is being widely purchased from Amazon, what it will do is it will send that product details to a local shops also, so that the sales should increase as well as online as well as offline. So like we see whenever we are purchasing products from Amazon, we get to know that seller details at the downside. So what are these sellers? These are the different local distribution centers. So Amazon will not send a single product to a single distributor. It will distribute the product on multiple local distribution centers, so that all could gain the benefit and multiple products should be sold. So this is one of the example how Amazon is using ML. Next example is the Netflix. As we all know, we see the Netflix, or we are aware of what is meant by Netflix. So this is one of the company which has used AI driven technology successfully, like machine learning to build the extensive view profiles that are accurately predicting which shows and which movies user are interested in. Like if I am a person who always watch horror films or horror related shows, then the recommendation to me by Netflix will be horror related shows only. So this is one of the advantage of Netflix. Again, customer interact with this program and provide useful data every time they scroll through new films. Why? Because if you are scrolling the new films, then the machine learning algorithm will analyze, yeah, okay, so they are interested in fiction movies or fiction shows, so they Netflix will start recommending the same shows to us. Similarly, YouTube works. Like if you are aware, we can see if you are watching comedy shows, then always we will get the recommendation of the comedy shows on YouTube. Similarly to Amazon, similarly to Facebook posts. So these are the areas where this company or the businesses are using the machine learning algorithm to grow. Steps in the machine learning. In the previous video, we have seen what is meant by machine learning and what are the different steps. So in this today's video, we are going to see the steps. So this is the overview of the detailed steps involved in the machine learning process. First is data gathering. Next one is data pre-processing. Next is feature engineering. Next is algorithm selection and training. And next is making prediction. So this is the small overview of all the steps. In detail, we will be seeing this step in the next video, where I will be giving a relevant example for each of the steps. So we will just go through what are the detailed steps involved in this process. So as the name indicates, in data gathering, we are collecting the data from various resources. It can be a database, it can be a website, it can be a real-time data. So by using different sources, we are collecting the data into one form. Now in the data pre-processing, whatever the data we have collected, we need to clean the data so that there should be a homogeneity in the data. Homogeneity means same pattern, or the data should be in the same format. So to make the data into the same format, or to collect the data into same format, we need to clean the data, we need to remove the unwanted data from the data set. So that is the process which is known as data cleaning or data pre-processing. Now the next step or the third step is the feature engineering. So in feature engineering we are making our data more useful. Means we have cleaned the data, now we are removing the irrelevant data and making the data more useful so that the analysis can be done on that data to generate a specific output. So all these processes are interrelated. Once we clean the data, we need to collect only the relevant data to make the predictions more clear. Next step is the algorithm selection and training. Now, in algorithm selection and training, we are selecting the right model or right machine learning model or right machine learning algorithm and training the data to generate the output. The final step is making the prediction, means evaluating the model after generating the output. So these are the 5 steps which are involved in the machine learning process. We are collecting the data from various resources. We are processing the data. We are making the data clean to make it easy and in a certain format with a similar pattern. After that, we are taking the data which is relevant for the analysis. We are removing the unwanted data. So we are making the data more useful. After that, algorithm, we are applying the algorithm and we are generating the outputs. So we will take the specific input, we will do the analysis, we will apply the machine learning algorithm and generate the output. In making prediction, we are evaluating the performance of a model. Like if we have developed a model, how accurate it is predicting the score. That is the use of making the prediction. So these are the 5 basic steps. In the next video, we will be seeing the in detail with example for all the steps. So basically, we are using machine learning as we saw in yesterday's video to make the use of the data to answer the specific questions, and it is used by all the industry because of the increase in the computing power and the increase in the data or the data availability. So basically there are 3 types of machine learning: supervised, unsupervised and reinforcement, and this is the types of process involved in the machine learning, that is data gathering, data pre-processing, feature engineering, algorithm selection and training, and making prediction. I have top applications that are real-time applications where machine learning is the part of the application. So in the daily life we are using some of the applications of machine learning, but we are unaware that they have a machine learning part incorporated in it. So we will see one by one what are the different applications. So the introduction video to machine learning will be provided in the description box. Go through it. So first best example that we use in the daily life is the Google search engine or the Google translator. So here we can translate from one language to another language by using the Google translator. So it is the best example of machine learning. So we will see one live example of this. So here I have opened the Google translation as translator. As you can see here, I have typed the English command as how we are doing. So for how we are doing, the specific Italian translated text has been come to my screen. So this is the translation engine which works perfectly for us. So we can transfer from any language to another language. Like if I say change the language to Japanese. So for how you are doing, the specific translator has been provided on the window. So how this has been happened? So it is a part of machine learning. So here the machine learning is incorporated and easily from one language to another language the text is being translated. So this is the best example in daily life we use the machine learning. Next is the healthcare. So healthcare is the next industry where widely the machine language or the big data is being used to manage the data, to store it in a small manner, or to get more specific result from the healthcare data. We use the machine learning part in it. So if there are different applications of health in healthcare of machine learning. So if you want to see, I will just show you some of the applications where machine learning is being used, like to identify the disease and to diagnose the specific medications for a specific disease. IBM has developed a different softwares which worked on specific criteria. Also for medical image diagnosis or AI based technologies for cancer treatment and for personalization medications. So in the different areas in healthcare we use machine learning, like to maintain the clinical trail and for research industry as well as to manage the large amount of data generated by the medical industry. So in different ways we use the machine learning part, and the healthcare is the most important industry where research is blooming nowadays by using different machine learning algorithms to predict the accurate medications for a specific disease based on their symptoms and based on the clinical record. The next is the cyber analytics. So as we all know, due to social media, there are different frauds that are taking place in banking sector as well as in normal financial sectors also. So we are facing different issues while doing the online payment, or while we are doing different techniques. We are facing different issues while doing the online payment. Why are these issues arising? Because of the large amount of data is being generated by different social media, different blogs, news, daily bulletins, or different media platforms. So it is difficult to manage the data and to store it in a more secure way so that the frauders or the it should not be visible to any other organization which are not trustworthy. So to manage such type of data or to prevent the fraud that are being taking place in the industry today, machine learning is the part of it. So it visualize or analyze the data based on different parameters, and easily we can detect the frauds from the database provided. So cyber industry is also one of the industry where machine learning is the part of research. The next thing is the robotics. So as we all know, nowadays robots are being the most research field where they are giving their each researchers are giving their 100% to provide the best result, like the robots which behave like a human being. Not only they work the do the work instructed by the human being, but also some of their uh, they are easily understandable, they understand the emotions of human being. So how these things are incorporated in the robot, it is being done by using different machine learning algorithms and techniques. So robotics is the field where for mechanical field the machine learning comes into picture and it is used widely. The next thing is the data analysis. So this is the industry where to analyze the large amount of data and to gain more insights from the data, the machine learning algorithms are being used. Like if we take the example of a companies such as Amazon, Flipkart, or if we take the companies as Ola, Uber. So these companies have a large amount of database, and it is very difficult for them to manage such type of database and to gain insights from data to recover the more important customers, or to recover the more important features from the data. They use the machine learning algorithms. Like here the example is shown for cart analysis, or for predicting something from the healthcare data, or to manage the data generated by the social media. So these are some of the applications of machine learning. And the final part is the social media analytics. So daily a large amount of data which is generating is mainly from the social media. We use WhatsApp. Per second, there are TBs of data generating by WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So it is difficult for these companies to manage the data. So they use the big data techniques to manage and store the data in an effective and secure manner. And they use the machine learning algorithms to gain the insight from the data so that they can dump the unwanted data and just store the relevant and the important data. So to remove the unwanted data also machine learning algorithm is used, and to gain the information from the important data also different machine learning algorithms has been used. So these are some of the applications that are the real-time application where machine learning comes into the picture. I hope you are clear with the idea what are the real-time applications that we use in day-to-day life, and we are the part of the machine learning industry. So thank you for watching the videos. For more videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel, and also follow me for Instagram for daily updates on machine learning and big data. Thank you.